The Chicago Bears are experiencing a little bit of a roster shakeup ahead of the squad's Sunday night football showdown against the Houston Texans. I can't wait. But maybe it'd be easier if we just played a game of good news, bad news here. Are you guys with me? So let's start out with bad news. Two of this highly rated wide receiver room are in real jeopardy of not playing on Sundays. So the week 2 injury report is out so far, and it comes as a little bit of a surprise to see rookie wide receiver Romo Dunze listed as just questionable. You've heard the audible gasp I let out earlier a few weeks ago when we saw that Romo Dunze was originally hurt. But it looks like Odunze and Keenan Allen are both true game time decisions. And this is from a tweet from Courtney Cronin from ESPN. She's always so accurate. So this is to hear it straight from her. The Bears are going to take it all the way up to the game to see whether Romo Dunze and Keenan Allen are going to play versus Houston. And this is directly from Matt Eberflus. But there's some good news here on Rome Odunze. And this is straight from Rome via a tweet from the Tribs, Colin Kane. I'm going to bring it up here. Let's check this out. So this is a direct quote from Rome. The number one question you need to answer: can you be yourself out there? Can you play through the pain? What's the soreness going to be the next day? Are you going to weather through that? For me, it's just that pain tolerance at this point and being able to work through what I can work through. So the good news is that there is not structural damage to his knee. It's a matter of pain tolerance from everything that I can gather. But still, we don't want him rushed back on the field, do we? We want to take our time, but if he can tolerate it, he's going to be good to go. So this might be a matter, too, of keeping the Texans guessing coming into the game. I honestly think that the Bears know right now if both of these players are going to play. Unless we're looking at it from a fantasy football perspective, right? I play, but by all means, wait until game time to make the final announcement. It might give that little extra advantage over the Texans. And great news, right? This is unlikely to lead into an extended absence from the lineup at minimum for Romo Dunze. He practiced yesterday, shared with reporters. Once again, the doctors have told him that he isn't at risk of future injury, of further injury. The knee is structurally sound, and it's a matter of pain tolerance. Really good. Let's play more good news. We have a pivot ready for the Scales injury. Long snapper Scott Daly, he's been called up from the practice squad. He's on the active roster, and that's a little early because I believe with this exemption that the Bears are free to call him up to 2 times to the active roster before they have to bring him formally onto the 53. The Bears are just kind of saving some time, and he's just going to be stuck there. He's a very good player. He spent a few years filling this role for the Lions previously as their long snapper, and just a nice plug it and play, just a nice pickup by GM Ryan Poles. And then we're looking at, with Daly on the active roster, no need to rush Patrick Scales back into the lineup. As you guys know, he's currently on the IR with a back injury. He's the longest tenured Bear at 16 years being the long snapper, and he's one of the best in the leagues, but it's a back problem. Back problems can be tricky. Let's take this opportunity for him to get his rest. Would love for him to return to the lineup as quickly as possible, but that's a very good thing to have a quality, experienced player to take your spot, to have that pressure relieved to not come back onto the team way too soon. So, all right. I promise, good news, bad news. Let's do some more bad news. To make room on the active roster for Daly's inclusion, the Bears have placed offensive lineman Ryan Bates on injured reserve, and that just kind of stinks. But let's go good news, and I'll get back to this. We have talent at wide receiver to fill the void if Allen or Odunze can't go. Practice squad wide receiver Colin Johnson. He's been elevated onto the active roster. He's just a tall and rangy wideout. He broke through during the preseason, and I think it looked authentic. It definitely passed the eye test. He stood out as one of the best players on the field during the preseason opener at the Football Hall of Fame. So allow me to refresh your memory. 3 catches for 56 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 21-17 win for the Bears in a game. It was called with 3:31 left in the third quarter because of inclement weather. And this guy might have done even more. He was hot. It even included a leaping catch for a 27-yard gain down the right sideline. He just played acrobatically. And this is to hear from him after the game. I kind of entered the game with just a sense of gratitude, and I felt honored to have the opportunity to play this amazing game. And this is a guy that missed the 2022 season with a torn Achilles tendon. And to hear more from him, it's just been a long journey for me with injuries and stuff like that. So I just want to put my best foot forward. I think I did that tonight. So regardless of the injury news at wideout, I'm actually excited to see what Johnson can do. It's a blessing to have a guy like him to just call up. And this guy might have made the 53-man roster outright if he didn't have some injury issues following that breakout game. And I think that game was a true breakout for him. So an abundance of talent, that's what kept Johnson from squeezing onto the roster as well. But this solid showing got him a practice squad spot and now elevated onto the game day roster for Sunday Night Football. So happy for him. And a little note as well, him being brought up is either a signal that Rome or Allen might be sitting out, or it's just simply a contingency. I'm not going to speculate on that, but let's get back to the bad news of Ryan Bates being placed on injured reserve. And this just kind of stings. I mean, he split time with starting right guard Nate Davis last week. At neither player looked like they were going to the Pro Bowl, but Bates was obviously the better player, getting way more snaps during the Tennessee game. He was outperforming Nate Davis at right guard. It actually appeared like a kind of mini benching for Davis, but right now, with Davis out of lineup, at least the next 4 games now, it looks like Nate Davis will get another second chance, or is it a 4th or 5th chance? He's got to show that he should be the right guard option for the Bears. And let's just hope we finally get the Davis that balled out when he was on the Tennessee squad, as opposed to the nonsense that we've witnessed while he's been wearing a Bears jersey. And it's only a matter of time until the Bears called up long snapper Scott Daly, gave him a spot on the active roster. And once again, he could have been elevated just 2 more times this season before the team had to decide whether to formally put him on the 53. And they just decided, what the heck, let's just do it. So let's finish with one more piece of good news, and this is how I like to finish. Rookie 3rd rounder Kiran Amagaje, he's fully cleared, fully healthy, practicing fully. He can now be integrated into this lineup and onto this team. He's a huge man, but honestly, huge talent. He showed at Yale that he's fully capable and ready to provide depth at all positions on this line. Super excited to have him ready to go. Be keeping an eye on his development starting this week. Just a really nice piece to be ready to go on this team. This is going to make a big difference as the year goes on. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Good News, Bad News. I just love being your main source for Chicago Bears news. And you guys, let me know what you think about these injuries. Let me know what you think about the contingencies placed, like the Colin Johnson contingency. And hey, let's keep Velus Jones away from the return team. Let's continue to lean on DeAndre Carter. Let's continue to put DeAndre Smith into a prominent role in this offense and look for them to run a bunch more 12 personnel to not only prepare for these injured players, but for also to keep Houston guessing, to be able to change up these looks, and also to take advantage of this incredible tight end talent that we have on this team. I mean, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, 2 really good pieces. Cole Kmet is an elite tight end, and we need to use them as such. And man, that's a really good blessing to have if you're having trouble at wide receiver, and also give them different looks. And I want to see, when the game's on the line, when we're in the 2-minute, I want to see our best players on the team as well. And our offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, he has owned his kind of failure doing that, but you also got to give him a little grain of salt, because he's looking at not only staying true to this roster that's ready to win right now, but also he's got to keep in mind that he needs to develop properly a rookie quarterback, and it's so important that he does. So look for the Bears to lean more on the run. Look for the Bears to lean more on 12 personnel and let this ridiculously good defense do their job and keep the game close. Anything can happen. So you guys enjoy the game. I will be talking to you in the comments. Bear down, and see you soon.